Yeah, opening statement, obviously a very disappointing loss. Very disappointing the way we lost. I don't feel like we made them earn it at the very end. All three areas need improvement. In our special teams, we continue to have problems handling punts and kicks, just making good decisions with the football there. Offense, we continue to not be able to throw the ball down the field or even throw the ball in the intermediate zone. So we got to get that fixed. Defense, we can't get stops when we need stops. It's glaring, and I have to get it fixed. We're going to take the bye week and try to get those three areas cleaned up and better for when we go to Ohio State.
Great. We'll start with Mark, and then we'll go to Bob.
Terry, one of the things you said Monday is you wanted to see more grit and toughness and those kind of things. How would you assess that in this game?
I don't think anyone in that stadium would say they didn't see that. I think our guys played hard. I think our guys left it out there. I think they gave everything. There was nobody that turned anything down. There was no one that didn't give great effort. We just have to execute that. That's where our problem is, and that's my job to get it fixed. I'm super proud of those guys and the way they played. We just got to clean it up so that we can finish games.
Bob, then Audrey.
Terry, you also talked earlier in the week about getting things fixed at the line of scrimmage. That's what the game's won up front, O-line, D-line. Your thoughts on the O-line without Vega tonight? Two guards he's one of your better linemen, but also issues against the run again. And did that ever influence some of your fourth down calls, especially late, because you were maybe worried about not being able to stop the run?
Yeah, I thought our offensive line did a nice job. Katron had a great game. He was running the ball effectively. He had 0 carries for negative yards. Everything was positive, 28 touches. I'm super proud of those guys for that. I think we might have had 1 sack, I think the stats read. So we protected, when we went to throw. We just have to be able to push the ball. It's tough. I'm a DB guy by nature. It's tough when the secondary is sitting on your intermediate zones. There's no separation. Every throw's got to be in a tight window. So we just have to be able to push the ball down the field to make that better.
Audrey, then Todd.
Terry, what did you think of the game you got from Grunk, and also why use Smolik tonight, and what made you excited you guys about that?
Yeah, I thought Ethan played a pretty solid game. Obviously, he had the 2 interceptions. The 1 interception, down by the 4-yard line. That wasn't a bad interception. That's like a punt. That was like pinning them back. It turned out to be a positive. The 2nd interception, right before the half, we tried to force a slant in there. He's just trying to make a play. So, the ball was tipped and intercepted. I thought his game was solid. I thought he managed the line of scrimmage and the calls at the line of scrimmage. He handled the crowd. The crowd was electric. We didn't have any miscues with communication at the line of scrimmage, so he did a terrific job with that. I'm super excited. He used his legs on some critical 3rd downs and 2nd down runs to move the sticks. It's really, really positive in the direction we're going. We'll be able to build this thing around. Yeah, Smolik, he brings some more athleticism to it, and just wanted to give those guys a lot to prepare for. And if we could see a play or two to be made by him, which he did, it turned out to help us move the sticks.
Todd, then Rich.
Coach, you obviously didn't get an easy one in your first job as far as how close it was, a lot of important decisions in the game. What were you thinking going into it? Did you consult anyone about, the focus that it takes for a head coach all through the 3.5 hours of it? And, some of the decisions that you made, was there did you just go by gut the whole way through, or were you trying to accomplish something from the beginning to the end with your calls?
We follow the book, and, sometimes in the book it says a 50-50, then that turns into your gut. We knew coming into the game we wanted to be aggressive. You know, when you're on the road at night at a place like this, you have to come to win. And you can't wanna try to just ooze your way into victory. We came to make plays, and that's why we were super aggressive. You know, the last fourth down that we didn't get, you know, we just didn't get a push off the ball, and they stoned us there.
Rich and then John.
Terry, I don't know if you could see what happened on the two long court runs by their quarterback or what you were told in the headset, but what went wrong in those two long runs, because obviously they were very critical.
Yeah, we had a game up front, and we didn't get the wrapper to get back to the middle of the field, and that was the first one. And then the second one, you know, we had one of the players just missed the tackle, and it just, from there, it got into a foot race, and you know, we saw the result.
John and Daniel.
Terry, do you have an update on Venga's status, if he'll be available moving forward?
It'll be available moving forward.
Daniel and then Neil.
Terry, how was the operation overall on the sideline in terms of communication between you and the other coaches? Did you feel that went well? And I guess moving forward, what did you kind of learn on that today?
Yeah, I thought the communication was great. I was able to switch back and forth, offense, defense, and talk to Stig on special teams. There was complete communication. When we used the analytics book, there's communication to both sides of what they're trying to do and what we want to do. I thought that went really smooth.
Neil and then Greg.
Terry, the 4th and 1 where you guys ran, Luke, could you take us through that one? And also, what was the if on your shirts? What did that represent?
Yeah, the 4th and 1, you know, we had a call that we thought would work. We thought we'd get a little bit more push, and we didn't get the initial push, and then it just failed, simply put. The if is, you know, it's a belief. It's infinite possibilities. It's, you know, if we focus, if we play harder, if we buy into each other, it means a lot of different things, and it gave us this endless, limitless possibilities of the outcome, right? And so we did some really, really good things tonight. The big thing we have to learn is finish. That has been a problem right now, and we have to learn to play four quarters and finish at the end.
Last two, Greg and then Mark.
Coach, you said on Wednesday that if you felt like if guys could change the game, you wanted to get them on the field. Do you feel like you guys did that effectively enough tonight, especially on offense?
Yeah, you know, we played a couple of younger receivers. You know, Kobe had a catch in there. We'll continue to push those guys to get more as we develop this pass game. You know, we gotta develop Ethan to be able to utilize the pass game and be comfortable with it. You know, we're trying to find the playmakers and get the best guys on the field that can make the plays. That's what my job is, to get those guys out there. And you know, I thought those young guys did a decent job for the reps that they got.
Mark?
Terry, did you guys have a chance to watch Coach Franklin's interview on game day this morning, and how did that maybe, you build something around your day to do that?
No, I didn't see it. Some people told me some snippets of it, but I don't have a comment. I didn't see it to be accurate what they told me.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
We're gonna do players out on the field.